of Radha and Krishna, which are the dominant motif of medieval Hinduism. Here, illicit love becomes the very type of salvation. For in India, where social convention is so strict, such a love involves the surrender of all that the world values, and sometimes of life itself. When Krishna receives the milkmaids and tells them he owes a debt that can never be paid, it is because they have come to him, like the Vairagi who has renounced his home. Neither their duties nor their great possessions hindered them from taking the way of marriage. The great seducer makes them his own. All this is an allegory. Reflection of reality in the mirror of illusion. This reality is the inner life where Lord, the milkmaids are the souls of men, and Vrindavan, the field of consciousness. The relation of the milkmaids with the divine herdsman is not in any sense a model intended to be realized in human relationships, and the literature contains explicit warnings against any such confusion of claims. The interpretation of this mystery, however, is so well known as to need no elaboration. But there is a related cult which is called Sahaja, which constitutes a practical discipline, a rule, and what we have to speak of here concerns this more difficult and less familiar teaching. In Sahaja, the adoration of young and beautiful girls was made the path of spiritual evolution and ultimate emancipation. By this adoration we must understand not merely ritual worship, but also romantic love. This doctrine seems to have originated with the later Tantric Buddhists. Kanu Bhatta already in the Sahaja love songs in Bengal. The classic exponent, however, is Chandidas, who lived in the 14th century. Many other poets wrote in the same sense. Chandidas himself is called a madman, a term in Bengali which signifies a man of eccentric ideals who nevertheless endears himself to everyone. He was a monk, priest of the temple of Ashuri Devi in Bengal. One day, he was walking on the riverbank where some women were washing clothes. By chance, there was a young girl who wondered. She raised her eyes to his. There was Dante and Beatrice. From this time on, Chandidas was filled with love. Rani, very beautiful, but in Hindu society, what can a washerwoman be to a Brahmin? She could only take the dust off his feet. He, however, openly avowed his love with songs and neglected his duties. He would fall into a dream whenever he was reminded of her. The love songs of Chandidas were more like hymns of devotion. I have taken refuge at your feet, my beloved. When I do not see you, my mind has no rest. You are to me as a parent to a helpless child. You are the goddess herself, the garland about my neck, my very universe. All is darkness without you. You are the meaning of my prayers. I cannot forget your grace and your charm, and yet there is no desire in my heart. Chandidas was excommunicated, for he had affronted the whole Orthodox community. By the good offices of his brother, he was once on the point of being taken back into society on condition of renouncing Rami forever. But when she was told of this, she went and stood before him at the place of the reunion. Never before had she looked upon his face so publicly. Then he forgot every promise of reformation and bowed before her with joined hands as a priest approaches his household goddess. It is said that a divine vision was vouchsafed to certain of the Brahmins there present, for Rami was so transfigured that she seemed to be the mother of the universe herself, the goddess. That is to say that for them, as for Chandidas himself, the doors of perception were cleansed, and they too saw her divine perfection. But the rest of them saw only the washerwoman, and Chandidas remained an outcast. He has explained in his songs what he means by Sahaja. The lovers must refuse each other nothing, yet never fall. Inwardly he says of the woman, she will sacrifice all for her love, but outwardly she will appear indifferent. This secret love must find expression in secret, but she must not yield to desire. She must cast herself freely into the sea of contempt, and yet she must never actually drink of the forbidden waters. She must not be shaken by pleasure or pain. Of the man, he says that to be a true lover, he must be able to make a frog dance in the mouth of a snake, or to bind an elephant to the spider's web. That is to say, that although he plays with the most dangerous passions, he must not be carried away. In his restraint, or rather, in the temper that makes it possible, lies his salvation. Hear me, says Chandidas. To attain salvation through the love of woman, make your body like a dry stick. For he that pervades the universe, seems none, can only be found by one who knows the secret of love. It is not surprising if he adds that one such is hardly to be found in the millions. The doctrine of romantic love is by no means unique. At the summit levels of European culture, and so far as love is concerned with the modern Russian who drinks, I tell you that even this has its peaks, which only one out of millions is able to climb. Before attempting to understand the practice of Sahaja, spiritual freedom, moksha, which is called the ultimate purpose, the only true meaning of life, and by hypothesis, the highest good and perfection of our nature.